Last month, I was on and off dealing with this feeling that I was missing something. And especially last week, this feeling was highlighted because I was facing it on a daily basis. This was a pretty challenging feeling to navigate through. So I was reflecting on my goals and on my progress, and I wasn't happy with the progress that I was making. So immediately my mind went to, I must be missing something. Like someone has the answer that I don't have. And if I have that answer, then I will be making all the progress that I want. So, of course, what I did, I started to anxiously look for that answer. I started to listen to these podcasts. I started to read the books. I started to journal to find that answer of the thing that I was missing. And as you can imagine, I didn't find any answer. I only created more doubt around the things that I was doing. And I wanted to make this quick video to share how I've been navigating through this feeling and how I've been processing and working through this feeling of missing something. And one of the first things that you want to do is you want to challenge your perspective and challenge your feelings. This is the foundation, not just with the feeling of missing something, but with any feeling and experience that you have. Because, by the way, how you challenge something is simply by asking, is this true? How do I know with 100% certainty that this feeling and experience is true? And it's so important to challenge your feelings and perspective because you start to create from these feelings. These are the foundation that you take action from. So if I believe that I'm missing something, of course I start to anxiously look for the thing that I'm missing. And the way I challenge my perspective on this feeling of that I'm missing something, I ask myself the question, what am I missing? Because I need to know what I'm looking for. So what am I missing? And the funny thing is, I couldn't answer that question. And then I ask myself the question, how do I know that I'm missing something if I don't know what I'm missing? And this is when things began to feel shaky in a good way. I started to really challenge this feeling and this perspective that I was having. How do I know that I'm missing something if I don't know what I'm missing? Because how do I know what to look for? And then I, of course, came to the point of, well, but I feel it. I feel that I'm missing something. But this is personal development 101. You are not your thoughts and you are not your feelings. And I fell into the trap that thinking that I was my feelings, thinking that because I feel it, it's true. But since when are your thoughts and feelings your reality? And a different kind of example, when you, for example, leave the house to work and you are certain that you close the door behind you, and then you're in your car to work and the thought comes to you, what if I didn't close the door behind me? What if the door is wide open and there's someone breaking in right now and stealing all my stuff? And then this feeling grabs you as in, what if this is true? What if this is true? And then you feel the fear and you feel the doubt. But you are certain that you close the door. And this is how your thoughts are creating your reality. And it doesn't even have to be true. So what if the thought of missing something is the thing that creates the feeling that you're missing something? So this was one of the first things that I got to, is challenging this feeling and challenging this perspective. And oftentimes challenging your perspective and realizing that it's not true is already enough for you to dissolve the feeling. Because if you could answer the question of what you're missing, then it's obvious what you're looking for. So if you lost your keys somewhere in the house and you're looking for the keys, it's obvious that you are missing the keys and that you're trying to find the keys. But if you don't know what you're missing, how do you know what you're looking for? So you actually create a hell for yourself. And this is what I was doing. I was creating a hell for myself, looking for a thing, and I didn't even know what I was looking for. And all that I was experiencing was frustration and fear. So challenging your perspective, challenging the feeling is one of the first things you want to be doing. Now, when it comes to, if we go a layer deeper, what works for me as well is understanding where the feeling is coming from, how I've created this experience for myself. Now, immediately, as a side note, you want to be careful with this because you can create a maze for yourself and a prison for yourself trying to understand all these feelings, because you don't always have to understand where the feeling is coming from for you to move forward. Sometimes just knowing that it's not true is already enough. Now, when we look at the feeling of missing something, this experience can only exist if there's comparison and if there are expectations. So if we would start with comparison, the way I was going about it, I was looking at other people and I thought that they had answers that I didn't have. They are successful because they have answers that I don't have. I was comparing my progress to someone else's progress. And this is a dangerous thing, especially with social media, because we see all these successful young entrepreneurs becoming a millionaire at 19 years old, and someone else creates, I don't know how much money in 3 months or in 6 months, and they are promising you the same thing. And it creates this messed up view of what the process towards success looks like. Because all of this is a lie. Usually these are outliers that create, that's one of the first things, like I said, it's probably a lie. You don't even know if their success is true online. Now let's say for this example that it is true. Usually these people are outliers that create a certain amount of success in a very short period of time. Different example, certain people say, well, I've created this amount of success in 3 or 6 months, but what about their whole track record of their whole life? They have accumulated so many things and skills and experiences and failures that brought them to this tipping point to reach the success. This is what I love, by the way, about Alex Hormozi, because he is really emphasizing all the failed businesses, all his failures that led to this point for him. And it's important to realize that you have to work through all of these fears as well. You are not missing anything. It's oftentimes the thing that you're missing is putting in more time, gaining more experience. That's usually the thing that is missing for people. And the thing that I immediately also think about is when I was a personal trainer, I, of course, help people losing weight. So there was this lady, and she was doing amazing. She was doing everything to perfection when it comes to her nutrition, when it comes to the workouts. So she was losing weight. But she reached the point where she stopped losing weight. And this is when she kept doing the work anyway. She kept on going with her nutrition. Even though she didn't see any results, she kept going with the workouts, with everything. And 2 months went by without any results. And then there was this tipping point where she started to lose weight again. Sometimes all that's necessary is for you to keep going a little longer. And just because things are not going your way, yes, it's uncomfortable, but you don't have to create a conclusion as in I'm missing something. Other people have something that I don't. Because it takes years to master a craft. It takes years. So you have to create this commitment of just doing the thing until you get the result. Instead of comparing yourself and thinking that your life has to be different. Because you are on your unique journey. And this is something you really have to get to terms with. You are on your unique journey. So you can't compare yourself to someone else. You don't know what they've experienced in life. All the skills that they've accumulated that got them to this point. You have no idea. So don't compare your worst with their best as well. Because that's pretty unfair. Now, to get into the second point of expectations. Expectations are also dangerous. Like if you master your expectations, then you master your experience in life. This is all the frustration that you experience comes from expectations. An expectation means that you think reality is supposed to be in a certain way, and your reality is not matching up. So then there is this gap between your expectation and your reality, and something is wrong. This creates frustration. But what if we take away the expectation and reality just is? Reality isn't supposed to be any different because it is. You can't change it because the reality is the way it is. And the expectations only create all this messy feelings inside of you. So if we take the weight loss example again of the lady, just imagine she had expectations. Expectations as in, when I'm going to be losing weight, I'm expecting that I will consistently lose weight at this rate. If she had that expectation and she ran into that wall where she wasn't losing weight, she started to doubt herself. She started to think that I must be doing something wrong. I'm missing something. I'm not getting the results that I'm expecting to get. So there must be something wrong with me. And you see how that feeling and that creation creates all these dangerous conclusions for yourself and about yourself, because she would have given up. If this was her expectation, she would have given up. And because because we were in touch, because I was guiding her, I could also have these conversations with her and tell her that this is part of the process. You're going to run into a wall where you don't lose weight. And especially in these moments, it's necessary to keep doing the work. And because she knew, she expected this to happen, there was nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong in the process, because she was expecting to go a certain period doing all the work without seeing results until she reached the tipping point. And this is why you want to expect hardship. You want to expect challenges. You want to expect a certain time period where you're putting in the work without getting results. Because when you reach that point, you don't start to freak out because something is wrong. You're like, oh, obviously, this is part of entrepreneurship. This is part, I go to the gym. I expect that I will experience pain. I will expect that I'm going to be sore. So I'm not going to be bitching about it. Like, this is obvious. This is part of the process. But when you're resisting all these things and think it should be different, that's when you are going to create a real hard time for yourself. And a different image that comes up for me as well is, you've probably seen this before, of the two guys mining for diamonds. And they're both going at the same pace. And one guy finds the first diamond extremely fast. And he's all happy, all excited. And the other guy, he's not finding any diamonds. He's just going, no diamonds. So he thinks something is wrong. Something is missing. Like, he's comparing himself, that's one thing. So this guy got it very quickly. I must be missing something. I must be doing something wrong. And he creates doubt, he creates anxiety, and he stops mining. But on the picture you see, and maybe I put up this picture somewhere here, you see that there are maybe hundreds of diamonds waiting for him in the end, if he just kept on going a bit longer. And this is where the commitment of, I'm just going to be doing the work that is required until I get the thing that I want. This commitment, if you make this commitment, you are unstoppable. If you remove this whole idea of a time frame in your mind, you become unstoppable. You're like, I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if it takes me a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years. I'm just going to keep on going until I get that thing. And I'm not going to beat myself up because of this imaginary comparison and expectation and all that is created, all these lies that are created in your mind. So this is how I worked through the feeling. I challenged it. I realized that I was comparing myself to other people's journey, and I connected back to my own unique journey. I'm not missing anything. Just keep on putting in the time, keep putting in the work, and trust that the results will come. It's just a matter of when. And the third thing is just removing these expectations that this is supposed to be different. Of course, I'm going to experience periods where things are not going my way, where the results are not as I expect them to be. Obviously, these things are going to happen, especially if you start growing and building and creating things. These things are happening. And I fell into the trap of expecting things to be different. So I hope these 3 elements helped you not just to work through the feeling of missing something, but these elements also apply to different kind of feelings and experiences that we have when we're working towards certain goals that we have. So if you like this video, and if you like to work through these topics, not all by yourself, but together, I created a Brotherhood, a group specifically for men, where we are working through all of these experiences together on a consistent basis, on a weekly basis. We have weekly group calls and group sessions where we share also all these vulnerable topics with each other. And we work through them together on the call. We gain different perspectives. And this is so powerful to hear different perspectives and different experiences on an issue. Because the relatability, this is something that I experienced. The relatability is what helps me work through the feeling as well. Because sometimes it feels that I'm all alone in this. I separate myself from everyone around me. I think I'm the only one experiencing this feeling. There's something wrong with me, these things. But when I'm in this group and also guiding the men through it, and I hear them talk about similar experiences that I have, this relatability helps me to work through it myself. Because seeing someone else work through it is almost a mirror for me in how I can work through it. So if this is something that, if you want to create together and work through these issues together with like-minded and ambitious individuals, then fill out the application form in the description below, and you can experience the group, by the way, for free first before you decide to join. You can meet all the men for free, and when you feel this is in alignment for you, you can of course choose to join. So when you fill out the application form, I will get in touch with you and we'll hop on a call and see if we can align things and make it happen. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next one.